All right, so about a month ago, I tried selling options inside of Robinhood with $1,000. And I'm about to show you exactly how much I've made from doing this for just about 1 month, but make sure to stay until the end of the video if you also want to earn passive income every single week by selling options inside of Robinhood or any brokerage, but selling options. All right, so I'm about to pull up my total buying power inside of Robinhood. Now you see $355.02. This is not all passive income that I've earned from selling covered calls. I have earned $150 over the past 5 weeks selling covered calls inside of Robinhood. So $355 is not accurate. That includes, I have a couple deposits. I have all of my dividends waiting as well. So in the effort of transparency, $150 off of $1,064 is exactly the returns and the numbers that I have made over the course of selling this. That is about a 13.6% return over the course of 5 or 6 weeks. Depending on when this video goes up, it might look a little bit later, but I'm busy. It's about to be finals week, sorry. But let's get right into it. How exactly I'm getting this money is from the premium inside of these option contracts. So I'm going to pull up my Robinhood right now. And as you can see, this is my Robinhood dashboard right over here. And that is my portfolio value right now. And as you can see, if we scroll down, for anyone who doesn't use Robinhood, this little options contract right here, it's RIVN, that is known as a ticker symbol for the company. So my $1,000 that I invested initially just about 5 weeks ago was into a car company called Rivian. And if we want to pull up Rivian right here, RIVN, type in the ticker symbol, Rivian Automotive. As you can see, I have 100 shares. It is currently trading at $12.08 a share. I had bought them at an average cost of $10.64, so just about $1,000. And essentially what I've been doing to pull in money every single week, I do have a video on this that I would strongly recommend you watch before coming to the results, because it'll make a lot more sense, because that video is a lot more of a tutorial. This one is going to be focused more on the results and kind of what I've learned from selling options as a result. Total return on the stocks themselves at 13%. Now granted, how covered calls work, you would not be getting this full 13% return on the share price. You would be getting at whatever the strike price is, which brings me to what the strike prices I've been selling. Keep in mind, I have turned this position over multiple times. I've rolled up and down, which I will explain a little bit more about what rolling means later in this video. But I have definitely turned over contracts a lot of times. The strike price, which as you can see is $10.50, is what I currently, if this expired on December 27th, the very end of December, that is the expiration date right here, 12/27. So if I let this expire, and it expired what's known as in the money, which means the ticker symbol, or I mean the strike price is below the current trading price, this would more than likely get executed, and I would have to sell away 100 of my shares, all of my shares, for the price of $10.50 a share. That is what rolling up or down is used for, to help you solve those problems in case you do not want to sell. So now let's talk about what exactly I've been trading with these covered calls to be pulling in this income every month. So the first covered call I actually sold on Robinhood with my $1,000 was a Rivian $11 call at 10/18. That is known as the expiration date. It doesn't mean anything to us now since that date has passed, but that is what I sold for that first introductory video, which I'm going to link after this one. So if you want to watch this video and then go watch that one, and then you'll be completely set up. It's all going to be free information. I never do anything paid. It's very, very easy to start. I would highly recommend you watch that after this. $32 right there. And as you can see, that was a Rivian $11 call. So if this had expired and Rivian was currently trading at $11.50, my shares would be called away at the price of $11 per share. And you may be wondering, well, why are we working on 100 shares? Well, that is a great question, and the simple answer is that in order to trade one of these option contracts, which all an option means is that you are trading off of share price movement of a company, you know? Generally, it's only going to be one company. In this case, everything I've been trading has been on a car company known as Rivian. And these option contracts, for one option contract, it requires 100 shares of collateral. And what I mean when I say collateral is just these shares going away if I am executed upon. right? Because every contract is going to have a buyer side and a seller side. And in this case, since I'm selling options, I am on the seller side. I'm not gonna get too in depth with what all of the alternative cases are because I talk about that in my other video, but that is the first contract we went through. And then as you can see, if we scroll up a little bit further, we are going to actually go into this short call position, which means we actually rolled down. So our strike price, as you can see, it rolled down to 10.50 and it also changed to 10.25 for an expiration date. And as you can see, off of this trade, while I did have to pay some like closing fees, total realized profit was $30. So that is pretty cool. As you can see, it's literally the next week and you pick up another $30. How cool is that? And then as you can see, going into my next contract, I rolled it again a week later. And this time I realized a profit of simply only $7. But as you can see, every single week I'm starting to bring in money. Then as you can see, I now have rolled it again on another contract. And this time I made a profit of $80, which is absolutely insane. That is super cool that it's like, I'm literally doing nothing except rolling this position. I'm clicking like 3 buttons on Robinhood to make a profit. And this time it happened to be $80, which is super, super cool. And so as you guys can see, just from those few trades I made, that is over $100 in profit, which I think goes to show that you guys too, with even just as little as $1,000 or even $500, if you could find a stock, you too could start bringing in money every single week. And it's very easy to do. So let's actually talk about the criteria we want to look for when choosing these covered calls and what I did for this challenge. So mainly what I tried to do is stay slightly in the money for most of my covered calls because I found that the premium was the best when it was slightly in the money and I could easily roll up or down to that strike price. And these are shares that ideally I do not want to have them called away on expiration date, but the premiums have been so good that I would be okay if they did. And then I also like to look at 45 days till expiration. I find that the concept of theta decay actually works really well about 45 days out and it starts to ramp up. And essentially what theta decay means is that the closer you are getting to expiration, the option contract price will be worth less as you get closer to the expiration. And that's good for the seller because it means that if you do not want to stay in that contract, you can simply buy it back for part of the profit that you made when you first sold it, which is, I understand, maybe a little confusing of a concept, but that's okay because with time you will learn. And if you subscribe to my channel, I have videos coming out about this all the freaking time. But to keep it simple, my 2 principles were find near the money contracts, which means if it's trading at $10.75, you want to look at $10.50 or $11, and you want to find contracts that are expiring in about 45 days. But that doesn't always work, and there's always going to be some room for change. Ultimately, you will figure it out over time doing your own strategies, finding your own research tools. But it is not all sunshine and roses because what happens if you sell a covered call for slightly above what you paid for it or slightly below what you paid for it, like I did earlier, and it absolutely blows up? Let's say you're buying something for $10, you sell a contract for $11, but then it shoots up to like $30, and that's all that profit you missed out on. That is one of the drawbacks of covered calls. If you sell them, there is a chance that the stock goes way up and you miss out on a ton of profits, but keep in mind, you already have profits guaranteed, and that is kind of the trade-off with covered calls. You have a capped upside, but your downside is also protected. And you also will always have the option to buy that contract back before expiration in most cases, to where you won't have to sell those stocks. Ultimately, I think slow and steady is absolutely the way to go. Make sure you are doing your research before you're getting into this. I know I have been doing this for a while, but even I was kind of making some silly mistakes. Some of you may be asking, well, okay, that's great. With this premium, now what? And the answer is it's kind of up to you. It's whatever you want to do, and your money is your own. My personal plan is I am going to keep selling calls against these shares until I can buy 100 more shares. And then with that, I will get into probably trying the wheel method, which I'll have coming out on my channel soon. But ultimately, it's to keep stacking and growing, and to where I can then start selling multiple contracts to where I'm rolling in even more premium. But for your premium, it's up to you entirely. You could reinvest it. You could put it into a buying options play. You could start trading with it. You could pull it out the next day. You can do anything with it. That premium is your money, obviously after taxes, because it is taxed like income. But before I end this video, I do want to walk through another situation that I'm currently in right now so you guys can see it. This is real and authentic. As you can see, I have pulled up my Rivian option that I'm currently trading. It is a $10.50 call that expires at the end of December. I know we looked at this briefly, but look at this. Right now, it says my total return is minus 150%. Do not be spooked by this. All this means is the average credit, if you look at this right here, it is $77. That is the credit of what I bought this option for on November 19th. And so what this means is minus 113, 105. It fluctuates a lot, as all options do. What that means is this contract price is worth a lot more than what was paid to me when November rolled around, which is not bad. I'm not losing any money. I'm not losing $100 here. Now I'm missing out, yes, but this was money that, I mean, it could have gone the other way too. You know, it could have been worse, but also keep in mind that this stock price may go down as we get close to expiration. Contract's going to be worth less and less as you wait. So on the seller side, time is your ally. Actually, the closer you get to this expiration date, the more likely it is that you'll be able to buy out of this contract for less than you paid. But yeah, Rivian is absolutely jumping up, and Rivian's a company that I really do like, and I don't actually want to have to be forced to sell. So I may end up taking a hit on this. I will post an update on my community post, what I decide to do with this later on. But yeah, as you can see, this is what, what could be considered worst case scenario for covered calls in a sense. And as you can see, it's not a big deal at all. Some of the numbers might look scary, but make sure you educate yourself before going into it and you will be absolutely okay. So keep in mind, over $150 of this buying power is complete profit just from selling covered calls, which is absolutely awesome. But with that being said, guys, that is my results from selling covered calls inside of Robinhood with $1,000. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I tried to be as transparent as possible. Maybe not the craziest returns, but I'm still very proud of them. A little more conversational type of video. I'm just kind of trying to put something out there because I know a lot of you guys wanted to see this video. So there it is. Like the video if you found it helpful. I'm interested to know if you guys have tried covered calls or any other option strategy or anything you guys want me to talk about. I've tried a lot of different things, so make sure to comment what you're doing or what you think of this strategy, and consider subscribing, and also click this video here if you are one of the new people who maybe hasn't had a chance to watch that video yet. It'll be a great tool for you to use so that you too can start earning some passive income. And with that being said, that's all I've got.